Anyway, let's get to the real issue here, okay? The Chinese balloon.
Over the Chinese surveillance balloon. It's floating high over Miami, Montana. Mola Lenghi is on the scene in Billings with the latest. Good morning, Mola.
Good morning, George. National security officials say they are monitoring this Chinese surveillance balloon that traveled from Alaska through Montana here and is still on the move. Pentagon officials telling ABC News they decided not to shoot the aircraft down, but they're leaving all options on the table.
This morning, a suspected Chinese...
Dude, how the fuck can one balloon just absolutely eviscerate America's, like, air defenses? I actually don't get it. I legit don't understand, because it's like, what the fuck's going on, man? I mean, it's been it's been there for like a couple days now. They've been tracking for a couple days. But it's wild. They're like, oh man, the debris will fucking fall in to you know, areas and harm people potentially. That's why they're like not trying to hit it. But I don't know. We have like $7 gazillion in defense. We can't fucking take down a balloon. What the fuck?
Surveillance balloon hovering over the northern United States for days.
The United States government has detected and is tracking a high-altitude surveillance balloon that is over the continental United States right now.
The balloon seen here, flying over Billings, Montana, where it forced a ground stop at the city's airport, halting all commercial and general aviation flights in order to clear the airspace. It's roughly the size of 3 buses, with a technology bay attached beneath it, believed to be carrying high-resolution cameras, according to a senior U.S. official. Sources describe it as an aircraft designed to travel in a purposeful path, one that includes a number of sensitive U.S. sites.
These are balloons that can be used for surveillance, for Earth observation.
I feel like the way they're talking about this fucking balloon is doing 2 things. One, it's making me feel like we ain't shit, okay? That's number 1. And number 2, I feel like they're going to be like, this is why we need $700 more gazillion dollars. We were going to donate a bunch of money to like the Mr. Beast style cataract surgery, but instead we're going to do like, you know, anti-balloon measures. You know what I mean? We need to do $700 gazillion dollars for anti-Chinese balloon measures. Clearly this is an area of weakness for us.
But they can also be used for military purposes. In this case, perhaps the Chinese were looking to collect high-fidelity imagery of sensitive U.S. sites where they may have been intercepting communications, but they also could have been testing U.S. air defenses.
A senior
China said it was a weather balloon, by the way. Wait, really? What happened? It went astray?
defense officials saying they are confident the balloon was sent by the Chinese government. And this isn't the first instance this has happened in recent years.
Once the balloon was detected, the U.S. government...
This guy's awesome, dude. Brigadier General Pat Ryder. We've tactically ascertained the balloon is overhead, coming in from clear skies, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do everything in our power to make sure, hoorah, we're going to take this balloon down.
Acted immediately to protect against the collection of sensitive information.
This morning, the Chinese government cautioning against what they describe as hype, claiming they're still gathering facts. The Pentagon, now closely tracking the balloon, says it currently poses no physical threat to civilians, commercial aviation, or U.S. military assets. Still, on Wednesday, defense officials say, as a precaution, the U.S. Air Force mobilizing F-22 fighter jets in case the order was made to shoot down the balloon. The contrails seen here in this image.
It may have been possible for the U.S. Air Force to shoot this balloon down, but that also raises a risk. And that risk is if the missile misses, or even if the missile hits the balloon, it could send hot shrapnel down on civilian areas anywhere in Montana.
Well, U.S. officials say the path the balloon appears to be taking flies it directly over some sensitive U.S. sites, including one of the nation's 3 nuclear missile silo facilities at Malmstrom Air Force Base here in Montana, George.
Okay,
Another really funny part about this coverage has been like, there are a lot of weapons at the Malmstrom base. All of our nuclear silos are at the Malmstrom base, located at this address. It would be a real shame if the Chinese balloon saw all of our nuclear silos at the Malmstrom base. I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, you just said it, so I guess they know. Now they know. You know, they didn't need the fucking balloon to see that. Guys, this is our top secret airbase that has all the nuclear silos. It would be really fucked up if the Chinese knew how to speak English and tuned into the broadcast to find out that the Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana is housing the nuclear silos. I mean, I'm too stupid. I'm sure there's something else going on. But like, it's just like, I don't know. It just comes across very funny when they're like, dude, we can't let the Chinese take photos of this photo. We cannot, it's literally like saying, we cannot let the Chinese look at this and then posting a photo of the base itself. You know, if they see this right now, this photo in my hand, we are fucked. The fucking thing sees underground, dude. Wait, what? Response from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China. They say, according to media reports, a Chinese unmanned airship has been spotted in the U.S. airspace. Do you have any comment? The airship is from China. It's a civilian airship used for research, mainly meteorological purposes. Affected by the westerlies and with limited self-steering capability, the airship deviated far from its planned course. The Chinese side regrets its unintended entry into the airship in the U.S. airspace due to force majeure. The Chinese side will continue communicating with the U.S. side and properly handle this unexpected situation caused by force majeure. I believe it. No, I do believe it. Not because like I glaze up China or whatever, but I believe it because they didn't bomb it. If this was like actually a spy balloon, they would have blown it up and then you would have never heard about it. And then people that like posted it on TikTok they wouldn't have been killed or anything, obviously, but like they would have just like quietly dealt with it. Do you think China doesn't do espionage inside of U.S. borders? Of course they do. They do it all the fucking time. And guess what? We do it nonstop as well. But if it's like if this was something that caused like legitimate harm, they would have just dealt with it without you hearing about it. That's usually my assessment. Because flying over like U.S. airbase or flying over U.S. territory or just, you know, flight paths are always internationally communicated amongst foreign adversaries. Like, for example, when Russia is fighting in Syria and the United States is fighting in Syria, they literally tell one another all the time. It's protocol to tell exactly where your planes are going. The United States military knows exactly where the Russian Air Force is going, and the Russian Air Force knows exactly where the U.S. is going. Even before, for example, when Donald Trump blew up the fucking base in Afghanistan, I believe, was it? No, when he utilized weapons in Syria, and there was a Russian air base or a base that like Russians were using, they told them ahead of time, and they left the base before it got blown up. So if they're doing actual espionage, we wouldn't have fucking known about it. And by we, I mean us in the public. The American government would know about it, but this is the tweet counter that's popping off. Wow, I can't believe that China accidentally floated a balloon over the U.S. Here's a totally unrelated map. Didn't we just facilitate another deal with the Philippines? The unsinkable airbase, as they call it, which is also known as an island. No, literally. What the fuck? Xi Jinping, let's spy on the U.S. PLA General, yes, sir. We have many advanced surveillance options. May I recommend a satellite or a radar stealth drone? Xi Jinping, no. Giant balloon. General, yes, sir. Xi Jinping, make sure it's big enough that everyone can see it. We're going to use a giant balloon that every American can see. Oh, wait, duh. That's what this coverage is about, isn't it? To hype up support for a super airbase? Sorry, dude. The Pentagon says you're wrong. Watch. Pentagon says U.S. rejects China's claims that the spy balloon is not being used for surveillance. Okay. So they're just posting L's then. Is that what the Pentagon's doing now? They're doing the, you guys defunded the police and you defunded the U.S. military. And that's why we can't take this goddamn balloon down. No, Anyway, yeah, the Pentagon has famously never lied about a foreign adversary's actions before, of course. The U.S. State Department just announced Blinken is postponing his trip to China as a result of a Chinese weather balloon accidentally drifting over to U.S. airspace. Okay, that actually is shocking. I'm not gonna lie. I thought he would just still go there. I'm of the mindset that they are definitely communicating. The Chinese military and the Chinese government and the United States government are communicating at this very moment. Based on its likely prior path, the U.S. would have first seen the balloon as it approached Alaskan airspace at least 48 hours prior, so the U.S. made a deliberate decision not to announce the balloon for 2 full days as they watched it drift down toward the lower 48. Also, if they wanted to fucking blow it up, why didn't they blow it up over Alaska? You know what I mean? If they said that they were following it, so what's up? If this was like legitimately a fucking a genuine threat, they said that they were following the flight path. You know what I mean? The U.S. also would have almost certainly known this was a weather balloon that posed zero threat almost as soon as they detected it. They also are well aware that weather balloons have little means of charting their own course. Thus, there is no valid reason for the feigned outrage by U.S. officials, since it's obvious even a child what happened was both unambiguously unintentional and wasn't a threat. So why all the theatrics? The only purpose of this overly dramatized performance serves is to purposely further stoke the fires of public consent for the war with China. I mean, yeah, that's... I see that. Oh, fuck. China has every Amerifat Facebook feed looking like this. Yeah, they're like, I see the balloon. I see the balloon, brother. Here's what I said. As soon as this popped off, my first and immediate reaction was, why would China need a surveillance balloon? One, they have satellites, okay? So that's number one, which, you know, are pretty fucking powerful, okay? And two, they have TikTok. Like, if they literally want, you know, immediate access, they have TikTok. And they have satellites. Why the fuck would they send a balloon that everyone can see over U.S. territory deliberately? You can actually steer a balloon? I mean, yeah, if there's someone in there, right? And not very well regardless. You have to literally steer a balloon by... Not a weather balloon? No, like you have some level of steering as long as you're controlling how much juice is in the balloon, right? Isn't that how you do it? The Pentagon already said yesterday the balloon isn't adding any value that the Chinese couldn't get from satellites in low Earth orbit. Yeah. No, you do not have full control over how, you know, balloons can fly, but you can like, it's still mostly dependent on wind, okay? But you can lower the balloon or make it go higher by trying to hit like other wind currents, right? Isn't that how you do it? I don't know. I don't know, but like I'm pretty sure that's how you do hot air balloons, right? You like try to fucking try to find the adequate wind currents, and that's how you do it. Unless you have like a propeller. Yeah, there's different wind directions and different altitudes, so you go lower to hit like a different wind direction, and then you go higher to hit a different wind direction. Isn't that how they do it? But it's not a hot air balloon anyway, so I don't think there's any... I do not think that there is any meaningful way that this fucking balloon is like being controlled. Hot air rises, so increase the flame to go higher. Yes, I know that. I am familiar with how hot air balloons work. I'm describing to you how hot air balloons work. That's what I'm telling you. Cappadocia is the hot air balloon place in Turkey. Yes, I have been there. It's beautiful. Anyway, the only purpose of this overly dramatized performance serves is to further stoke the fires of public consent for war with China. The looming threat of conflict that the U.S. actions are making increasingly likely must be fought against at all costs. Habibi, they caught the balloon. You fucking wish.